Revealed. Homeless girl asks to play for food. Her amazing piano skills will change everything. In the heart of a bustling American city, where dreams danced amongst the skyscrapers and shadows whispered tales of despair, a 12-year-old girl named Lily sat on a rickety bench in a dilapidated park. With her tattered jacket hugged tightly around her thin frame, she clutched the remnants of her family's past a weather-beaten keyboard. Each day, she pressed its keys, pouring her heart into every note, the sound a poignant reminder of love lost. As people rushed by, their lives entwined with obligations, Lily was a ghost, her melodies echoing the hunger in her belly and the dreams that felt just out of reach. Rich sounds of flowing piano filled the air, captivating the attention of passers-by. Some paused, enchanted, with tears in their eyes, while others frowned, frustration bubbling like hot coffee in Mr. Thompson's cafe a few feet away, where he scoffed at the nuisance outside. Just a girl asking for food, he would mutter, tossing a glance at his busy cafe. As he wiped the counter, Lily's music stirred emotions that catalyzed divides within the community. Each note rang true, igniting fleeting glimpses of hope on the faces of those who dared to listen alongside judgmental frowns from others who chose to turn away. The weight of uncertainty pressed on Lily's chest as she continued, hoping for coins instead of pity, not fully grasping the magic swirling in her fingertips. Then came a fateful afternoon when her heart could hardly contain its rhythms. Among the crowd was Mr. Alexander, a local music teacher, whose spirit couldn't help but dance to her enchanting performance. He approached her gently, curiosity gleaming in his eyes. "You have a gift, Lily," he said, his voice warm as a summer breeze. "There's a fundraiser coming up, and I would love for you to perform. People need to hear you." Lily's heart leaped. Could this be her chance? But before she could even breathe in the dream, the chaos of her life reignited. She hadn't seen her mother in years, the woman who had abandoned her when the world turned dark. Yet, the echo of a soft knock at a nearby shelter brought a whirlwind of emotions. As her mother's face emerged from the shadows, a mixture of regret and longing painted across her features. Would she ever forgive her? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. With thoughts spiraling, Lily practiced endlessly for the fundraiser. The park around her faded, her emotions swirling like a storm. Each note carried the weight of her sorrow, her fears, and the aching desire to belong. Yet, as she built the melodies, she discovered strength hidden beneath the grief, a resilient heartbeat that urged her forward. The day of the performance finally arrived, an electric buzz crackling through the crowd. As she stepped onto the stage, her heart thundered, yet the moment she began to play, all doubts vanished. Fingers danced, drawing forth a soulful melody that echoed the struggles of her life, resonating with humanity. The crowd held its breath, tears mingling with palpable joy, as unity began to bloom amid the strains of music, but with every note, a heavy truth loomed. As the final chord resounded, her heart raced not only with triumph, but also trepidation. What would come next? Would she be able to reconcile with her mother? Would she find her place in this world now, standing before a community that had been divided? As the applause surged like the waves of hope, Lily stood at the precipice of a new beginning. Lily's heart was still racing, the echo of applause ringing in her ears, a sweet symphony competing with the turmoil in her mind. She looked out at the crowd, faces illuminated by the fading sunlight, caught in a moment of shared emotion. Friends, strangers, and even Mr. Thompson, who stood with his arms crossed, fighting back his frown. For a brief moment, it felt magical, like she had woven a bond that could shelter her from the storms of rejection and loneliness. But reality hit hard as she stepped off the stage. People began to disperse, laughter and chatter filling the park once again. Each sound felt like a reminder of her solitude, a pull back to the isolation she had known for too long. Mr. Alexander approached her, his eyes alight with pride, but before he could speak, A familiar figure emerged from the crowd, her mother, standing there like a ghost from her past. Lily, her mother's voice cracked, barely rising above the din of the park. The word hung in the air, heavy and unyielding. Lily froze, a knot tightening in her stomach. How could she face the woman who had left her behind? Her hands trembled at her sides, unable to decide whether to reach out or step back. "Mom," Lily whispered, words barely escaping her lips, torn between anger and an overwhelming desire for connection. "I came to see your performance," her mom said, shuffling her feet, vulnerability clutching her voice. "I'm so proud of you. I know I don't have the right to say that." But the words piled on top of each other, and Lily found herself wanting to drown them out with the music still resonating in her heart. But could she truly ignore the ache of longing for something more? Lily's eyes searched for answers in her mother's tearful gaze. "Why now?" It came out sharper than she intended, and with those words, she felt an unfamiliar strength coursing through her. Her mother looked away, a wave of shame washing over her features. "I made mistakes, Lily. I was lost and didn't know how to be a mother. But you're a shining light. You deserve better than I ever gave you." A flicker of hesitation held Lily in place. This was the moment she had both yearned for and dreaded. Memories of better days twisted in her mind, her mother singing lullabies, promising the world, before the darkness crept in. The rational part of her screamed to turn away, to protect her heart from further heartbreak, but the tenderness in her mother's voice weakened her resolve. "I've been trying to survive," Lily admitted, her voice smaller now. "You left me. What do you want from me?" "I want a chance to make things right," her mother whispered, stepping closer, hope battling with despair. "I want to be part of your life again, if you'll let me." Lily's heart thudded wildly in her chest. The music had given her confidence to perform, yet she felt it shatter them now. She wanted to say yes, to embrace this possibility, but a wall of fear built around her mind, the fear of getting hurt again, of being abandoned once more. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the park. Suddenly, it was just the two of them standing there, surrounded by fading light and flickering memories. Could she really take a step toward reconciliation, or would this be another fleeting moment that would break her all over again? As she contemplated her next move, a rustle in the crowd drew her attention. A small group had gathered nearby, whispering, pointing. "What do you think happened?" One onlooker asked, eyes wide with curiosity. "Is that really her mom?" Lily felt a rush of heat creep up her cheeks. The world was watching, her private moment now laid bare for strangers to dissect. "Lily," her mother's voice broke through the noise, calling her back to the present. Please, in that crucial moment, facing her past as shadows loomed and eyes scrutinized, she stood at the crossroads of her life. What would she choose? Would she take the risk to move forward, or would she barricade herself in the walls she had built for protection? As her thoughts tangled, a decision formed in her heart, but was she brave enough to follow through? Lily's breath hitched as the crowd's whispers washed over her, a cacophony of judgments and assumptions. The moment felt surreal. Her mother was back, and the world was watching. All those feelings, the anger, the longing, clashed violently within her. She felt trapped in her own story, a story filled with heartbreak. "Lily," her mother's voice cracked again, pulling her back into the moment. "I know it's sudden, but I don't need your excuses," Lily shot back, her frustration boiling over. "You were gone when I needed you most. Why should I believe you now?" Her mother flinched, as if struck. The crowd's eyes were fierce now, a dozen lenses capturing their every word. This was more than a reunion. It felt like a trial. Tears glistened in her mother's eyes, but Lily felt the anger in her pulse, thrumming louder than the fear in her chest. "You don't get to just come back, Mom. You don't get to decide you want me now." "I know," her mother replied, voice trembling. "I can't change the past, but I want to try. Please, I just want to be in your life again." Lily's heart softened for a moment, the image of a little girl singing with her mother flickering in her mind. But it didn't erase the years of pain, of feeling abandoned and alone. "Is it too much to ask for you to give me a chance?" Her mother pressed. "To show you that I've changed?" The crowd had grown silent, their collective breath held. Lily could feel their curiosity, their anticipation. Their eyes were like spotlights, narrowing in on her, waiting for a response. "Maybe," she whispered, her voice barely audible above the hum of the park. But as soon as the word escaped her lips, doubt clawed its way back in. I don't know if I can trust you. Her mother stepped closer, the distance between them narrowing. Trust has to be rebuilt. I know it won't be easy, but I'm willing to put in the work. I want to see you every day, support you, watch you shine. That glimmer of hope in her mother's eyes flickered like the last embers of a dying fire. The nostalgia tugged at Lily, but it was overlaid with fear, the fear of being hurt again. The murmurs from the crowd began anew, whispers of skepticism, disappointment, and surprise. Can you believe she just showed up? Someone said. Does she really think she can come back after all this time? Lily's head spun. It felt suffocating. Would more people question her worth now that her past was laid bare? She had fought so hard to carve out a space for herself, to avoid the shadows of her childhood. Just give me a chance, her mother's voice lingered, softening the air between them. Before she could respond, a little boy wandered too close, eyes wide, clutching a faded balloon. Are you okay, miss? He asked, innocence radiating from his small frame. In that brief moment, when he reached out for her as if offering comfort, all of Lily's hurt collided with the pure, unfettered childhood hope. Am I okay? She thought, caught in the clash of possibilities. Her heart raced, anxious yet yearning for something more: closure, understanding, perhaps even love. Drawing in a shaky breath, she looked between her mother and the crowd. I don't know if I can forgive you, she began, feeling every word ripple through her like music. But maybe I can try, at least for now. Hope ignited in her mother's eyes, dancing softly like the fading light. But even in that moment, doubt clung to Lily like a shroud. As she turned to face the curious crowd, the whispers faded into the background. A new spark of determination arose, and she pressed forward. But if this is going to work, I need to see real change from you. No more empty promises. The crowd exchanged glances, absorbing the weight of her words. In agreeing to take this step, she had opened the door to change, but at what cost? And as she stepped back from the edge of her decision, an unexpected voice rang out from the crowd. What about the piano music? You should play again. Show us what you can do. Lily's breath caught in her throat. A recital? Was this the time to share her music once more? She glanced back at her mother, who stood with her eyes wide, filled with hope. Could she face the audience as she had done earlier, while wrestling with the conflicting emotions stirring within her? Would her music be a bridge to healing or a reminder of the fractures in their relationship? Lily nodded slowly, feeling a shift within her. All right, I'll play. But she wondered, as she turned towards the piano, if this would be the moment that transformed everything or the start of a new wave of uncertainty. Was she truly ready to unlock her heart again? The notes hovered in the air, waiting just like her future. Lily walked toward the piano, her heart hammering like a drum. The crowd shifted, anticipation hanging in the air thick enough to cut with a knife. She could see her mother, still standing with hope shimmering in her eyes, urging her silently to take this leap. As she reached the instrument, nerves twisted in her stomach. The wood felt cool beneath her fingers. She pressed a key softly, the sound ringing out like a single drop of water in stillness. It resonated through her, drawing her back to countless afternoons spent practicing, when music was her escape. Taking a deep breath, she placed her hands on the keys fully. Doubt swirled, but she pushed it aside. She had to do this not just for her mother, but for herself. If there was ever a time to face her fears, it was now. With a gentle press, she started to play first a slow, hesitant melody. Memories of her childhood flooded back, joyous moments intertwined with the shadows. A song she had composed once, filled with longing and pain, began to emerge. Notes spilled from her fingers like secrets she had kept hidden for far too long. As the music swelled, the crowd leaned in, enraptured. Faces transformed, caught in the spell of each note. She could see different emotions washing over them: curiosity, admiration, but most importantly, understanding. This was her voice, her story. Lily poured her heart into the performance. With each crescendo, she felt a release. Tears pricked her eyes, not from sadness, but a profound sense of catharsis. She wasn't just playing, she was reclaiming her story. When the piece ended, silence blanketed the crowd before it erupted into applause. A chorus of cheers resonated, and her heart soared. Red cheeks and glowing smiles filled her vision, and in that moment, she felt accepted, valued. But as she turned to look at her mother, she noticed something different in her expression and urgency, a complexity that made Lily's gut twist. "What is it?" she mouthed, her fingers still hovering over the keys. Her mother stepped forward, the crowd fading into a blur. "Lily," pain and joy mixed in her voice, making it tremble. "There's something I need to tell you. Something important about why I left." Lily's breath hitched in her throat. "Not now," she whispered, heart pounding again, but with a new kind of fear. The stage was set, but she didn't want to hear another justification. Not after pulling back into the light. "Yes, now," her mother insisted, taking another step forward, words spilling out like an unsaid confession, desperate to find the light. "Why do you need to ruin this moment?" Lily asked, bitterness creeping into her voice, yet curiosity gnawed at her resolve. Could knowing how much she had been hurt change how she felt now? Panic flickered across her mother's face. "You deserve to know the truth about everything. About me, about us." Lily shook her head, backing away from the piano. The still watching crowd, felt like a maze with no way out. Did she truly want to uncover more fractures in this delicate moment of rebuilding? Why now? Why after all this time? Lily felt raw, exposed. "Because I've realized that keeping this from you only hurts us more. You deserve to see me fully, honestly." Her mother's gaze was deep and earnest, a mirror of everything Lily both wanted and feared. Forcing herself to breathe, Lily stared into those familiar eyes that had once brought her so much pain. This could change everything, or leave her shattered. The question hung in the air thick as smoke. What was she willing to risk for the truth? As the applause faded and whispers resumed, uncertainty clawed at her heart. "Are you really ready to share that truth with me, and how could you know it would help?" she asked, voice shaking under the weight of new possibilities blooming. The stage was set not just for music, but for revelations. What would happen to her when the next note of her life played out? Lily stood at the edge of the stage, her breath hitching in her throat as she locked eyes with her mother. A surge of emotion pulsed between them, a mixture of fear, longing, and something that felt like hope. She could feel the warmth of the applause thawing the chill that fear had cast in her heart, but the spark of joy flickered uncertainly at the edges of the firestorm brewing in her mind. "Please," her mother pleaded, her voice barely above a whisper. "I know this is the moment to tell you everything. Don't pull away from me again." The weight of her words settled heavily over the room. Beneath the bright lights and the rapt faces, the crowd blurred into a distant hum. It was like sound and fury, but all Lily could hear was her heartbeat thumping loudly against her ribs. What could her mother possibly say that would make sense of the years apart? Lily closed her eyes for a fraction of a second, letting the tide of emotions crash over her. She had just found her voice, her story told in melodies. Yet now, another story lay in wait. Would diving into her mother's truth drown her newly found courage? "Okay," she finally said, her voice cracking like glass. "Tell me." Her mother wiped a tear from her cheek, eyes glistening like diamonds. "When I left, it wasn't just to escape. It was about survival. I didn't want to put you through what I had to face." "Survival?" Lily felt the tightness in her chest expand. "You mean you left because it was easier for you?" "I left because I thought it was what was best for you," her mother insisted, desperation rising in her tone. "I didn't want to drag you into my dark world." "Dark world?" Lily's voice rose. "But I was already living in it. You were gone. You left me alone." The bite of her words filled the silence, and she could see the crowd shifting, glancing at one another with curiosity and concern. This wasn't the encore they had expected. The thrill of the moment had morphed into raw exposure, both fragile and tense. "I regret it every day," her mother whispered, voice trembling like a wisp of smoke. "I lost track of who I was, and I lost you. But I'm here now. Please let me share my truth with you. I need you to know I did it for you." Lily felt like the ground beneath her was crumbling, the building blocks of her life shaking loose. She had thought that playing her music would be the answer. Now, it felt like the strings of her heart were pulled too tight, ready to snap. "And what if I don't want your truth?" she snapped, hurt resurfacing like old scars. "What if I'm better off in the dark?" Her mother took a step closer, vulnerability painted across her face. "Because sometimes the truth, no matter how painful, is what sets us free." Silence engulfed them, heavy with promises unspoken. In that moment, the world around them faded entirely, the cheering crowd, the spotlight, Everything but the two of them standing on that stage. Uncertainty loomed. Something shifted within Lily. What was she really afraid of? Could uncovering her mother's truth fill the gaps that had haunted her for so long? Maybe, Lily began, her voice barely a whisper, maybe I need to take that leap again, not just with music, but with you. Time hung in the air, full of anticipation as she searched her mother's eyes, hoping for an answer, a connection. It wasn't just about revealing the past anymore. It was about whether she could embrace their shared future. But what if opening that door led to even deeper pain? Doubts clawed at her heart as she took a step forward, ready to confront the legacy of hurt that had lingered between them for too long. Are you ready to tell me everything? She asked, her voice steadier, but the tremor of uncertainty still pulsing under the surface. For the first time, her mother smiled, a flicker of hope igniting the dark, and at that moment, Lily knew this was only the beginning. Lily's heart raced, a mix of anticipation and fear coursing through her veins. She watched as her mother took a deep breath, preparing to share the truth that had been buried for so long. The air pulsed with an electric tension, one that felt both alarming and strangely exhilarating. I don't know where to start, her mother said, glancing down at her trembling hands before meeting Lily's gaze again. You deserve an explanation, and I want to be honest. There's a reason I left that night. Lily's mind raced ahead, trying to piece together fragments of memories she had kept tucked away in the dark corners of her heart. She had always imagined her mother's departure as a betrayal, but now she sensed layers hidden beneath the surface. The collective silence of the crowd felt as if it was holding its breath, waiting for the truth to break free. I was in so deep, Lily. The life I was caught in, it wasn't just about me. It got messy. I could see it swallowing me whole, and I knew it would only drag you down with me. Her mother's voice cracked, filled with pain that echoed through the air. What do you mean? Lily pressed, her curiosity mixing with the heat of resentment that bubbled under her skin. Were you in danger? Her mother shifted, eyes glistening. There were things happening, people I was involved with that I couldn't shield you from. I thought by walking away, you would be safe, that we could start fresh without the shadows of my past haunting you. Lily's breath hitched as she tried to digest this revelation. All those years, she had nursed a wound that felt endless. But I could handled it. She shot back, the anger soaring once again. I was already hurting. Why didn't you just tell me? Because I was scared, her mother whispered, the tsunami of emotion washing over her. I didn't want to burden you with more. I thought I was saving you, but I only succeeded in losing you more. A frown drew Lily's brows together. Was this what it had all been about? The choices made in fear? She processed her mother's words, grappling with the conflicting feelings inside her, sadness, anger, and a soft flicker of understanding. She swallowed hard, refusing to let tears spill. I spent so long thinking that you didn't want me, Lily said quietly, her voice barely above a whisper. And now to hear that you were trying to protect me, it's just hard to reconcile. I know. It should have never been this way, her mother said, stepping forward, each movement filled with a desperation Lily had never seen before. All I've ever wanted was to protect you. But I see now, I made the wrong choice. I was a coward. The crowd remained silent, caught in the emotional tug-of-war unfolding between mother and daughter. Lily felt her heartbeat echo in her ears, a mixture of sorrow and warmth wrapping around her. Could she allow herself to understand? To forgive? Is it too late? Her mother asked, her voice trembling, the weight of the world resting on her shoulders. Can we start over? In that moment, Lily understood the burden her mother had carried alone. The longing to reconnect and the fear of stepping into a fog of uncertainty loomed like a dark cloud. But perhaps clarity could rise from the ashes. Maybe it isn't too late, Lily replied, surprised by the steadiness in her own voice. With trembling fingers, she reached out and touched her mother's hand, feeling hope skim the surface. As they stood on that stage, two hearts trying to bridge a gap years in the making, Lily felt the tremor of the future pulse between them. What new story could emerge from the ruins of their past? The emotions spiraled within her, an endless possibility, but a question lingered still. Would facing the truth lead them to healing together, or would it unveil deeper wounds hidden beneath the surface? The silence stretched between them, a fragile thread connecting past hurt to the uncertain future. Lily could hardly process the whirlwind of emotions swirling inside her. She felt a flicker of hope, but also the weight of 1,000 questions. How could they start over when the layers of their history were so complex? Her mother's eyes shimmered, reflecting a desperate yearning for forgiveness that took Lily by surprise. This wasn't just her mother begging for a second chance. It was an invitation to understand each other, to find common ground in the wreckage they both bore. Suddenly, the crowd around them seemed to fade away, leaving only the two of them in this tender, charged moment. I still don't know how to trust you again, Lily admitted, her voice wavering. What if you hurt me again? After all this time, I still feel angry. I don't know if I can let that go. Her mother nodded, accepting the pain in those words. I understand. Trust takes time, and I have to earn it back. But Lily, I promise you this, I will work every day to rebuild what was lost. I want to know who you are now, and I want you to know the person I've become. There was sincerity in her mother's tone that tugged at Lily's heart. She felt the truth breaking through her walls, making her almost daring to hope. The promise shimmered between them like morning sunlight piercing through fog. Can we at least try? Her mother continued, emboldened by Lily's softening expression. We can take baby steps. I want to learn about your life, your dreams. You deserve to be part of mine too. Lily held her breath. Inside, doubt wrestled with the hope blooming gradually like spring after a long winter. Memories of her mother's absence flooded her mind, birthdays spent alone, holidays filled with unfulfilled wishes. But now, there was a chance to look ahead, to reimagine who they could be together. Okay, Lily said finally, her voice stronger. We can try. A smile broke over her mother's face, a mix of relief and cautious joy. Lily couldn't help but feel some warmth in her chest. By acknowledging the past, they were choosing the possibility of something brighter. It wouldn't be easy, but both knew it had to start from this moment. Yet, as she felt the tentative bond forming, a stray thought crept in. What about the life her mother had left behind? The shadows lurking in that past? Lily needed clarity. But what about the reasons you ran away? What if they come back? I can't lose you again. Her mother's smile faltered, and the reflection of fear returned. I hope to keep you safe, but some things can't be erased. It's complicated. The doubt seeped into Lily's heart once more. Would they be able to navigate the mess her mother had left behind? As if sensing her turmoil, her mother squeezed her hand tighter. I promise we'll figure it out together. You don't have to face any of this alone anymore. With those words, their connection deepened, but darkness loomed just beyond their new bond. Could they face whatever threats waited on the other side of this fragile beginning? What if the past didn't want to stay buried? In that moment, both felt the pulse of uncertainty mingling with fragile hope. They were stepping into a world yet undefined, and the road ahead could be as tangled as the one they'd just begun to navigate. What unexpected challenges lay in wait? What shadows might emerge to test their resolve? Lily attributed her mother's hesitation to fear, but it felt like more than that. An unsettling certainty loomed in the air, a weight she couldn't shake off. As they stood in the midst of the crowd, oblivious to the laughter and chatter around them, the reality of their situation settled heavy on her shoulders. Can I ask you something? Lily ventured, her voice firm despite the tremor inside. What actually happened? Why did you leave us? The question hung like a thick fog. Lily watched her mother's expression shift in oscillation of pain and shame that mirrored her own dread. It's a complicated story, her mother started, then fell silent. What does that even mean? Lily pressed, impatience breaking through her resolve. You left me, Mom. You can't just say it's complicated and expect me to understand. I need to know. Lily, her mother's eyes glistened, but this time the shimmer was joined by the hint of tears. I didn't leave you because I wanted to. That's just not the whole picture. A deep breath anchored Lily as she fought against the waves of anger and confusion crashing against her. Then show me the picture, she implored, desperate. Tell me why it was easier for you to turn your back on me than to stay. Honestly, it wasn't easy at all, her mother stated, voice quivering as honesty flooded in, perhaps for the first time. I thought leaving would protect you. I was just lost. Running away seemed like the only way to shield you from the chaos I was tangled in. Lily searched her mother's face for any sign that this truth would lead to healing, but all she found were shadows and uncertainty. Chaos, she echoed. What kind of chaos? Please, Lily, her mother pleaded, vulnerability etched in her brows. It's not something I'm proud of. It was a mix of personal demons, toxic relationships. I didn't think you could cope with how broken I was. Anger bubbled within Lily, mixing with her mother's guilt like a toxic cocktail. I went through my own hell while you were off, trying to figure out your life. I was left to pick up the pieces all alone. You have no idea how hard it was. I do now, her mother whispered. I can see that now, and I regret every minute of it. But I want to fix it. I want to be there for you now. Lily struggled with those words. It was a start, but would it change anything? Do you even know who I am now? She asked quietly, opening a deeper wound. Do you know what I want? Her mother met her gaze, and for a brief moment, warmth flickered back into her eyes. I want to learn. You have dreams, passions. I've missed so many of your milestones, but I want to be part of what's next. Lily let the silence envelop them again, grappling with everything she felt and everything she wanted. Her heart was a battlefield, a mix of skepticism and, just maybe, the hope of a fresh start, but doubt began to gnaw at her again. And what if the chaos comes looking for you? She challenged, her voice low. What if the past doesn't leave us alone? I don't know, her mother admitted, despair now coloring her tone. But I need you to trust that I will fight for us. Together. The hesitation in Lily's heart transformed into something almost tangible, and as she felt the weight of those words, she found the strength to respond. Okay, together. Yet as they embraced that moment, a crack splintered wide within their cocoon. Across the street, Lily spotted a familiar face, a shadow from her mother's past, eyes locked onto them, and a knowing smirk etched across his lips. Lily's heart dropped. Mom. What? Her mother followed her line of sight, unease flooding her features in an instant. The man took a step forward, a glint of mischief in his expression that silenced the world around them. What was he doing here? Fear gripped Lily. Could they truly rebuild their bond, or were they destined to repeat the past? The next chapter of their story loomed dangerously ahead, and it felt like they were standing on the edge of a cliff. Lily felt a shiver run down her spine. The man's smirk widened, as if he had just uncovered a secret only he knew. Her instincts screamed for her to take a step back, to shield herself and her mother, but she couldn't move. Who is that? Lily's voice trembled, a mix of fear and disbelief. Her mother's face drained of color. That's Ricky. Ricky? Lily echoed, her heart racing. Ricky who? The one who was part of my life. The one I? Her mother faltered, words trapped in the tangled web of her past. Had I known you were going to come back, I thought I'd gotten rid of him, her mother finally said, frustration breaking through. He promised to leave us alone. The man stepped closer, confidence radiating off him, his presence demanding attention even amid the bustling crowd. He let the chaos swirl around him like a cloak, and in that moment, it was just him and Lily. Well, look who's finally trying to play happy family, he said, his voice dripping with sarcasm. Lily instinctively tightened her grip on her mother's arm. What does he want? What he always wants, control, her mother said through clenched teeth. But there was a tremor in her voice that didn't escape Lily's notice. Ricky approached them, an easy smile on his face, but it didn't reach his eyes. I just came by to say hello. Been hearing things, let's just say, I was surprised to find you here with your little secret. Lily glanced at her mother, bewildered. What does he mean? Nothing, Lily, her mother insisted, but the quaver in her tone betrayed her urgency. Come on, Karen. We had some good times, didn't we? Ricky's gaze pinned her mother in place. I always knew you'd come back to me. Missed you, babe. Lily's guts twisted. What did he mean by that? Mom, talk to me. The tension was palpable, each word unreeling their tentative bond, as if it could snap at any moment. Stop it, Ricky, her mother shouted. You have no power over me anymore. Seems like it's still there, doesn't it? Ricky taunted, a malevolent glint in his eyes. Just leave us alone. Lily cried out, feeling the fear and anger push her to the edge. Ah, but it's such a wonderful reunion, he said, savoring the moment. Reunions are best when there's drama, don't you think? Lily's heart raced like a wild horse. She wanted to protect her mother, but what if that man was right? Had their fragile new connection already been threatened by the shadows of the past? Mom, please. Her voice wavered. You can't let him get inside your head. Ricky chuckled, a chilling sound. And what are you going to do if I do? You really think you know what is best for her? Without waiting for an answer, Lily stepped in front of her mother, glaring defiantly at Ricky. You don't know her. You don't know us. You're nothing to her anymore. Is that so? Then let us see how long you can keep that bravado up. With that, he took a step closer, invading their space, the smirk still plastered on his face. In that moment, the world around them faded. It was no longer the crowd, the laughter, or the sounds of the festival fading into the background. It was just the three of them, caught in a web woven from years of pain and shadows, a fragile new beginning clashing fiercely with a threatening old past. Lily searched her mother's face, catching the stream of emotions: fear, regret, and a burning desire for protection. Could they truly stand strong against Ricky? With her heart pounding, Lily felt that they were standing on the brink of something too dangerous to move. Mom, she whispered, her voice small but steady. We need to be a team. Can we really beat him? But just as the question hung in the air, Ricky laughed, an ugly cacophony that shattered the moment. Teamwork. Good luck with that. How could they resolve this before it spiraled out of control? Just then, Lily's mind raced with thoughts of the past. Would they have to confront the echoes of chaos yet again? Or had she finally found the strength to fight back? Lily's heart hammered fiercely in her chest, adrenaline pulsing through her veins as the tension hung thick in the air. It was a weight that pressed down hard, threatening to crush the fragile bond she and her mother had just begun to forge. She stared into Ricky's eyes, willing them to break under her fierce resolve. Leave us alone, she declared, finding her voice even amidst her fear. She could feel the warmth of her mother's presence behind her, a steady reminder that they were in this together. The ground beneath them felt unstable, but as Lily stood firm, she sensed that this was the moment of reckoning. Ricky smirked, his eyes narrowing. Ah, so the little girl thinks she's a hero now? He laughed, the sound sending a chill down Lily's spine. She took a step forward, emboldened by the noise of the crowd around her, aware that their eyes were keenly watching eyes that bore witness to each trembling note of vulnerability. Stop, her mother cried, urgency tinging her tone. You don't have to resort to threats, Ricky. I'm not afraid of you anymore. Lily glanced back at her mother, seeing a glimmer of defiance in her eyes that made her heart swell. It wasn't just about her. This was about both of them reclaiming their lives. Each piece of their past held secrets that begged to be unraveled. But not today. Today was for standing tall. Huh? You think this little moment will change anything? You think you've won me back? Ricky retorted, a thin veil of confidence draping his words. You don't know anything about survival. You're both playing with fire. Fire can illuminate the dark, Lily shot back. And it can also burn down everything you've built on lies. Her voice wavered but remained resolute. She felt the eyes of the crowd, witnesses to a confrontation that transcended mere conflict. It was a clash of past ghosts against the redeeming cadence of hope and music. Ricky scoffed but hesitated, a flicker of vulnerability flashing across his features. Encouraged by her mother's silent nod, Lily pressed on, heart pounding with determination. Maybe you think you know her, but you don't, and you can't control us anymore. We've already faced worse than you. In that moment, clarity swept over her like a wave. All the hurt and confusion crystallized into a single mantra she held close. She was more than her past, and so was her mother. Don't listen to her. Ricky spat, but uncertainty began to seep into his bravado. What about all the mistakes I've made with you? You think that's all gone? You're right, Lily said, her words cutting through the tension. But I'm not bound to your mistakes anymore. I choose my path. Finally, her mother stepped beside her, brave and fierce. You've tried to manipulate me for the last time, Ricky. I won't let you twist my past into a weapon against my daughter or myself. The crowd held its breath, a collective gasp that bore witness to an incredible moment. When had two lost souls turned into a formidable fortress against the chaos that once engulfed them? What? Are you going to pretend you have it all together now? Ricky scoffed, anger bubbling but marred by uncertainty. Lily turned to her mother, their hands linking together. We're not pretending. We're being real, and we're stronger than you've ever known. The connection between them pulsed, a newfound unity forged in the fires of conflict. No longer was Lily just a scared girl seeking attention. She was a force, a music that resonated and echoed their determination in that park. ripping through the layers of judgment and doubt that surrounded them. Remember, Lily spoke, you can choose to walk away now, today. This won't end well for you if you decide to stay. Ricky's facade crumbled, a gray shadow that flickered under the weight of their resolve. You can't just control my life from here. You're both nothing. But as he leaned back, it shone like a signal, the light of understanding, of newfound strength, radiated brightly from the bond Lily shared with her mother. Maybe, her mother said, stepping forward, choice guiding her words. But our journey has just begun. This is our life now, and we'll no longer bow to fear. In that moment, Ricky's bravado faltered, and the crowd erupted into applause, an outpouring of support that filled the air like confetti. The cheers echoed within the park, embracing Lily and her mother as they embraced each other, the warmth washing away remnants of their old fears. Let us go? Lily turned to her mother, a radiant smile lighting up her face. They stepped forward together, ready to face whatever came next, unshackled by the chains of their past. And as they walked, hand in hand, echoes of laughter, living music now encapsulated the strength of family. This was a new beginning. They had shared their truth and found a way to navigate the chaos, poised now to rise together into the bright horizons that lay ahead. Let this be the first note, Lily whispered, feeling the rush of hope electrifying her spirit. Together, her mother affirmed, warmth spilling from her heart, a melody to their shared future. And just like that, you've followed Lily on a journey filled with pain, joy, and rediscovery. Now we invite you to share in this exciting adventure. You need to subscribe now to our channel to catch our next exclusive stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and let others join the family. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending below. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation.